Hello, everybody. I have a question from a sister who was on Facebook who's been with GPMS since the very beginning, where we talk about where we need the majority vote and we're at 40,000. How are we going to get there and when is the question that she's asking?
Well, the when is a need in the imagination for it. We know it's on divine timing. So how are we going to get there? People will choose it. Um, when they do, and this is when the consciousness is available to stop being fearful and start to be loving and to realize their moral obligation to stand against the evil. What we're witnessing right now is a process where the evil is showing itself. The evil has its foot on the neck of humanity on that lower timeline, and it's not letting off. Humanity they are squirming underneath it, not knowing that they have a way out. And that's the divine process that we can witness. This is a choice on an individual level. Each and every soul must release their fear and see GPMS for what it is, and see the evil for what it is, and say no more. At that point, GPMS comes to fruition or comes to inception. Until then, now, what I will say is that quietly, so not many, I mean, I don't know how many are going to listen to this, but let's see. We have millions, if millions and millions and millions and millions just in the Philippines. And we're talking to 40 or 50 million here, and that's less than half of their population. But that's still millions. Now, they're not consented yet, so I don't talk to that as a fact, even though now with 1 million, 10 million, 25 million, 50 million, does GPMS become more of an option? Is 40,000 too small for some? Do they need to see 10 million? Do they need to see 20 million? These things are ongoing in this divine process where, again, each releases their fear into the benevolence, into the future, and it's less about what they need, or sorry, what they want, less consumerism, less materialism, and more thinking about the children's children as we open up this system and remove this evil that does harm at every level and replace it with a benevolent system. That's what I would say. Over to you, Rick.
You always cover everything so beautifully, and I love how we work like a team. And sometimes Brother Dean comes in to add, so we give every question the fullest
I
what
was
we
ju-
give.
I was just about to, Rick, after you.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, but also on another level of getting out there and bringing it to the people. Because if the people don't see it, we've got to make sure they can see this. Everybody's got to be able to see it. So, how many of us are going out there or playing the role of showing it to the population? And that's what I would say to the individual in that moment. What are you going to do? Are you going to stand in your own power and your own leadership and make a choice to go and do something? For myself, I've arrived here in Thailand now. It's very simple, old school, just the same as the politicians in Thailand right now are out on the streets telling the people about them and their campaign. Same for me. Once the election's finished, me and Jidarat will be out on them streets, doing it in the same old-fashioned way and bringing it to the people and allowing them to see.
Thank you, Dean. Yeah, with this we get this so often, this question, or at least I do. When we use some first, when anyone looks at what GPMS does, it's the heaven on earth scenario for the individual. And, very quickly on the comparison page, everyone is going to choose it. But, having said this, idealistically, when you use the power of the numbers, I believe the power of three with this, what Brother Donovan has showed, within a month, you could have the majority voice upon the planet. We could have the majority voice, I believe, in as little as 12 days. And this is what Dean, is also saying. Everyone has to get out there and, give this to the people. Now, there is this little period of the ones that is giving it to be educated to know what it is. But having said this, it is simplified to to the most simplest degree that ones are going to choose it. And also with this, what we have is this great awakening upon the planet. It's not happening by chance. It is orchestrated by two deep factions, one the dark and one the light. And it is also because of this that the light is omnipotent, which is us. And what we are doing, if you will, is rescuing, you could say, all of humanity out of the last level of hell, out of those confines. And the darkness cannot go forward with it. So it depends upon each one, how quick do they want it to go? If you want it to happen, get out there and spread the awareness. And one of the hindrances which we are already overcoming is about 47% of the world's population does not have access to a regular internet, if they have it at all. But what's occurring, and we've already in Thailand as a great example, they have taken their phones, the ones that had internet, and have gone into the fields where the farmers didn't have any of it to get their consent. So what you're going to see occur as well quickly, ones that do have internet, they'll feel a certain obligation at their soul level to go into these areas where internet and into the impoverished areas, where there is little internet, so that we get these voices of all of these women, men, and importantly, children. So at this point, everyone needs to know every child's voice. If this child is 1 minute old and you're the parent of that child, it is truly your responsibility and your obligation to assure for their future that they are aligned with their best possible future. And having said this, right at this time upon the planet, GPMS is the best possible future for all. And again, everything is orchestrated. So we're taking like what Lee had mentioned about Germany here. We're in Germany. If ones don't change over to new heating, they'll be charged the fines up to as high as 50,000 euros. Look at how preposterous and absurd that is. But you're seeing this prevalent in the countries around the world. Like look in the US with rents tripling or even going beyond that, inflicting even more of an extreme hardship and pressure upon people. However, this is divinely allowed to occur because the people need to stand. So it is partly divinely orchestrated that they do, and this is the inevitability with GPMS. But I'll stop there, Mariana.
2 seconds.
Can I just have a little... Sorry, go on, Leah.
No, go on.
I was just also going to add another little layer to this in the sense of the energy as well, guys. Any of you that have actually been out there and tried to talk to people, and it's been quite a struggle when it comes to the energy of it, it's very different right now. Very, very, very different energy. I have never seen the energy as clear, and the information is clearly taken. Whether they sign in that moment, it makes no difference, but you're just not going to get the friction of rah or anger or pointing the finger at you right now. I lived 2 hours before this call. I sat in this hotel where I'm currently at in Thailand, talked to 6 individuals, 2 from Sweden, 2 from America, and 1 from England, and 3 of them consented their voice while I was sat at the table in front of me. It's that simple, guys. Don't be afraid anymore to talk.
Perfect, brother.